supposed to pay for it.
I know.
As,
Steve hates filling that out for me. I'm like, well, you know, when other friends said I would have to travel to Washington, for example, there's a cost of $10 airfare. I can't believe you have to pay for 10 meetings.
but yeah, it does look like a good agenda and some good topics, so hopefully.
Yeah, where's the speakers?
Yeah, so as that's the annual strategic planning for the chamber that you probably started when you were there.
Yeah. No, he says local elected officials, right?
And then some school folks.
School folks, so I'm assuming school board being interesting.
Oh, man. And another round again today.
Yeah.
The judge ruling against DeSantis. I mean, that's just like,
I know.
I would not want to be Frank Barberi, head of the school board, but literally gets paid.
I know, exactly. DeSantis just learning.
Yep, that's for sure. Hey,
How are you, bud?
I'm doing great, man. Doing swell. I was admiring your watch when at the last meeting. One fairly similar. Yeah, my wife got me this a year ago. It's a Rolex. So a lot more than I would have ever bought for myself.
For 30-some odd years, I sold it when they brought the new one about 2 years ago.
Oh, two?
Yeah, but I've had the other one for 25 years.
Yeah. I mean, hello, James.
He's looking at, I know it's a little crowded, but he's.
Yeah. I asked Clara to have a midnight buffet tonight.
I know, I don't even do that. Not because.
I have to look at
Sam, at least from point A to point B.
Turn my phone off.
Not the end of the hour. It's a little crowded.
You gotta take it one meeting.
Right, maybe one row or 2 rows of chairs instead of next time.
Yeah, that is.
Oh, I don't know. We were just talking about the court ruling today. DeSantis and
It's a little
masks.
crowded.
Spread them out.
So
Yeah,
another loss for him.
yeah, 2 and 2.
That, I think it's a topic
I don't know why
that,
you stepped into that.
I think that's a topic that, every school
Right.
parent, and teachers
Right.
are very curious about.
Yeah, I teased Richard.
Yeah, I'm heading out to Cincinnati tomorrow to see my father.
Oh, good.
So hopefully the flights are good.
Yeah, capacity.
Has
People
it
stop
like-
traveling all of a sudden.
Yeah, well, because school back in
COVID,
session
yeah.
and then COVID.
It's been COVID,
Yeah.
primarily. People are very nervous. Right. They jumped right on the situation. Yeah, and the airports jumped on it also. Welcome. So you gotta be careful. Everything's good.
I want to be older. I want to get there. Someone say I'm already there. Yes. Another thing that I want to understand. Again, I'm gonna have to explain myself.
Okay, I have 6 o'clock.
All right.
Where are you ready?
Yeah.
Ready?
Mitch is on the
Mitch is
phone.
on.
Call Gene when he
Yeah.
comes.
Mitch.
Mitch is on the phone and we will call Mr. Holden when he's available. He'll let me know and we'll call him and patch him in.
Okay, so we're ready to start the
You
meeting?
have a.
Let's-
I think so.
Yes, we have.
Okay, welcome everybody to the meeting of the Boca Raton Airport Authority. And to determine the quorum, if we could call the roll. Here. Here. Present.
Here.
I believe he's on the phone, right?
Yes, Mr. Fogel is
There
participating
he is.
telephone.
Mr. Golden and Mr. Power.
Here. Okay, we do have a quorum, so thank you everybody for attending. First order of business is approval of the minutes. And looking for a motion to approve the minutes of the August 18th. meeting.
Second.
We have a motion, a second from Bob. Any discussion, any comments? Changes? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. All right, agenda changes. Ms. Ben, are there any agenda changes?
No, sir.
Public requests. If any member of the public wishes to provide comment on any item, the time to do so is now. Please complete a public comment card identifying the item which you wish to be heard and provide it to Ms. Landers. The public comment cards are located in the back of the room, and each member of the public wishing to comment will be provided with 5 minutes to do so. The chair reserves the right to move the public comment opportunity on a specific agenda item to the point in the agenda that when that item is to be considered and or to extend the allotted time per speaker. So Ms. Landers, are there any public comment cards?
Not at this time.
The consent agenda. Ms. Ben, is there any consent agenda items?
No, sir.
Federal, state, and municipal input. Is there any federal, state, or municipal input?
No, sir.
And the financial report. Presentation of the August 2021 financial report. And I'll turn it over to Randy Nobles, our Secretary Treasurer.
Yeah, just, I guess there's 3 iterations of the financial report this month. The one that was in the packet that was sent out. That subsequently has been updated, that has been passed out to everybody, that this is what we're going to review. And then there are still a few entries because of the earliness of the board meeting that we're going to need to make for the month of August. And so we'll bring it back to the October board meeting for the final approval of the August financials. But we can get a pretty good sense of where we're at from Jada.
Thank you, Ms. Nichols, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Jada Stewart, Accounting Coordinator. As you can see, total operating revenues year to date are approximately $5.7 million. Total operating expenses year to date are approximately $3 million, and net income before depreciation is approximately $2.6 million. Overall revenues are 24.5% above budget year to date, primarily due to the seasonal nature of fuel luggage and customs revenue. Expenses are down approximately 27.3% to budget year to date, primarily due to the timing of one-time expenses in comparison with annualized budget and project expenses incurred but not yet received. On behalf of Airport Management and the Secretary Treasurer, we respectfully present the August 2021 financial report to the Airport.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Any questions of Jada?
This one last comment as a reminder, this is the last month of our fiscal year as well.
Okay, I'm looking for a motion to approve the preliminary financial report as just reported on by
So moved.
Okay, Cheryl and Mel. Any other questions, comments? Okay, with that, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Unanimously approved. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jada. Thank you, Randy. Next up, Civil Air Patrol. Okay, the chair asks Robert Abbott to present this item. And we also, if there's a representative here from the Civil Air Patrol, they can come and address us.
Is anyone here?
I do not see anyone here. We're supposed to be somebody here.
Okay, well, Robert Abbott, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Good evening. The Airport Management has received requests from Civil Air Patrol for a donation of $60,800 to cover the refugee hangar, the aircraft hangar. This will cover the time frame from October through next September, September 2022. They've also requested an additional $3,083.27 to cover utilities for these hangars. So that brings the total to $19,880.27. This donation is included in our 22 fiscal year budget for BRAA. So that's the request and questions.
Any questions for Robert? If not, I'm looking for motion to approve the donation of Civil Air Patrol. Mel, second, and Robert. Okay, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, unanimously approved. Thank you, Robert. If the folks from Civil Air Patrol come, we'll introduce them later. Okay. Next is, what do we have next? doing scholarship next, or we're going right to the?
The Premier AB.
Okay. We have a request to approve the landlord consent and estoppel from Premier Aviation. And Ms. Bennett, if you walk us through that, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In your background material is a request from Premier Aviation for a consent to an amendment to a leasehold mortgage, as well as a consent to an estoppel certificate. Airport management and legal counsel have reviewed the requested document, and in working with their legal counsel, have prepared this draft, and we concur with the consent and the estoppel and recommend approval. Mr. Rich Richards is here representing Premier. If you have any questions, he'd be happy, I'm sure, to address those. But we do recommend approval of resolution 091921, consenting to the leasehold mortgage executed by Premier Boca Raton LLC in favor of Bank United NA, encumbering Premier Aviation of Boca Raton LLC's interest in the lease and authorizing these documents.
Okay, thank you for your review. Appreciate that. Any questions?
I'll move to approve.
Okay,
A second.
a motion and a second. Any questions? Yes, no.
What exactly are we doing?
So
I may ask.
if I can try to answer that, and if I make a mistake, I'm sure
Amy?
Ms. Petrick will correct me, but under the terms of the lease, the tenant, Premier Aviation, has the right to mortgage the leasehold interest. There was a consent given to a prior mortgage, I believe it was January of 2015. So we have, the board has already consented to the mortgaging of the leasehold interest. That believe that was approximately $3.5 million. This is an amendment to that mortgage, in essence, a refinance. And per the terms of the lease, the airport authority must consent not to be unreasonably withheld. And the tenant is also requesting an estoppel, which is basically a snapshot in time of the terms of the lease, the facts pertaining to the lease as they are today. Mr. Nobles is nodding his head. I know you dealt with this quite a bit in your corporate life. So that is in essence what we're doing.
I got it.
We're saying that they can amend the mortgage, and that the facts as stated in the estoppel, the board concurs with those.
Thank you.
That, yeah.
Thank you very much, Mel. Any other questions, comments for either Claire or Rich? Okay, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Approved. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. The next item is also Premier Aviation, and this is the phase 3 plan and 100% plan submittal. So Ms. Bennett, will you present this item for us, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Following the discussion at the August meeting where there was discussion regarding the status of the plans, we received a revised set of plans from Premier Aviation on August 27th. Those plans were submitted to our engineering team, and the engineering team has concluded that the comments that had been presented at the 75% stage were addressed in this version of plans that you see attached to your item, and that in their opinion, the plans are sufficient to proceed to the next step, which is the submittal to the permitting agencies for review. So for the purposes of the lease and the 9th Amendment, we recommend that the board accept these plans as being responsive to the 100% interim milestone that was included in the amendment, the 9th Amendment last year. And Mr. Richards is here again to answer any questions, but we recommend accepting these plans as complying with the requirements of the lease amendment.
And if I understand, the two approval agencies, the FAA and the city, right? Or is there some-
Correct. There are multiple steps required, one of which is FAA approval relative to the location of the building and the airspace, so and the alteration of basically the airport layout plan, notice of proposal construction, et cetera. And then there are permit requirements that they must meet relative to the city, so including PWR, CAB, and et cetera.
Okay, any other questions of Claire or Mr. Richards? Anyone? Okay, well, I'm looking for a motion to approve the 100% preliminary plans as submitted by Premier Aviation for the Phase 3 development.
So moved.
Al has made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Any other questions now or discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, approved. A lot of work was done last month, it sounds like. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
The correlation to paperwork, the time spent on the item was way off.
It was good hearing from you.
I just had Clara cancel midnight buffet.
Okay.
Okay, that was good. That's great. Next is the noise abatement operations summary, and Robert Abbott, can you make the presentation, please?
Before you see operations noise abatement report for the month of August 2021. As you're aware, due to the early time of this meeting, we didn't have all the information needed to go into the reports prior, so we're covering the added information here. So during the month, there were 5,795 operations, which 13% more than operations of August 2020. It was down about 7% from August of 2019. So here are the fuel numbers. While we did include fuel numbers that we received, we still didn't get signature flight supports fuel in time for this presentation. So what I've included is that aviation fuel, and you can see we are actually still up 16% over August of 2020. And we are down 7% from August of 2019, but we expect that to come up once we get the numbers. Avgas deliveries were relatively the same from 2020, and it was down slightly about 5% from all over there. That 9 different households. Most of those were
Sorry.
Okay, I'm here. Bolton's present.
Okay, Gina, we got you.
Thank you.
We hopefully didn't use
Trying to get
Mitch.
Mitch back on, yeah.
I'm still here.
Okay, great. Okay, Mitch and Gina both on the line. Robert Abbott is going over the noise abatement report. Okay, Robert, please continue.
I'm just saying we had 9 different household development complaints on our noise hotline. Majority of those were for arrivals to runway 5, which is kind of what we normally see. We had a couple that were on departures on that from runway 5, and then we had overflights as well. The T block there. So that was actually overflight. During the month of August, we had 86 aircraft clearings, which was up from 49 total aircraft clearings last year, and it's also up 2 years ago at 75. We had arrivals from 14 different countries, as well as France and Uruguay as well. And then we had 28 after hours clearance in the month. 16 of these occurred on the Tuesday. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Any questions for Robert? Thank you, Robert. Appreciate it. Our next item is the Boca Raton Airport Scholarship Fund, our annual contribution. And Ms. Bennett, will you present this item, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, this is our annual request to distribute the funds to the scholarship for the Boca Raton Airport to the Scholarship Foundation for the Boca Raton Airport Scholarship Fund. It's a $25,000 annual donation. It is included in the approved budget effective October 1. So with your approval this evening, we'll be able to distribute those funds to the George Snow Foundation. And Tim Snow is here, and he would like to give you an update on our scholars. I know you had an opportunity to meet 2 of this year's 3 scholarship recipients at the June meeting, and we're very proud of all 3 of them. I think they're going to do great things. So Tim, if you could give us an update, please.
Sure, thank you guys for having me and give me a little bit of time to tell you about your scholars. And I'm always excited to come to the Boca Raton Airport Authority and give our annual report. Right now, you guys have 18 airport authority scholars. I'm sorry, 8 airport authority scholars in college, and you've got 4 students that have graduated college already. I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. I'm going to touch on also the Kennedy Day scholarships that you all contributed to some time ago. And we currently have 5 students in school with 4 graduates there. A lot of these students overlap the Kennedy Day and the airport scholarships. You've got of all the students you've got in school right now, their average GPA is 3.53, so they're all doing very well. The lowest GPA is 3.1, the highest 3.9. So they're all right in the range there. When, they're studying like aerospace engineering, rocket science, and all the easy real stuff. So just to let you know, you've got 3 students at University of Florida, 5 students at Embry-Riddle, 1 student at Liberty University, that's one of your 2021 students, 1 at Georgia Tech, 2 at the University of Central Florida, and 1 at the Florida Institute of Technology. Just to give you an update, because I can't remember with COVID really the last time I talked to you guys, but one of the things that we're doing is we're taking a portion of your money now. We've got an arrangement with the state of Florida whereby we can purchase a prepaid tuition program for half price. So tuition costs about $25,000 for 4 years at a Florida public university. And so we were able to purchase that for half price, a little bit over $12,000. So we take that 25 that you give us, we take 12 of it, award it to 1 student that's going to a Florida public university, which is the University of Florida. It doesn't really work well at like Embry-Riddle or a private school, but we basically double your money with that. So I know this year we gave Marcus Joseph that 4-year tuition program. And then we're also able to use the Kennedy Day money to give them something so they do have some, a cash award that helps them with, incidental expenses and that. So it's really been a great thing, I think, where we're able to leverage your contributions. We've been able to do that the last 2 years. And like I said, it really only helps or really is impactful when the student is going to Florida public college university. Let's see here. Again, all your students are doing really well. I did want to mention one of your scholars who has just graduated. John Sierra. He just graduated from the University of Florida with an aerospace engineering degree. He's looking for a job. Right? Okay, so one of the goals that I have is always trying to bring them back into Palm Beach County as best we can. So if anybody has any contacts in any aerospace engineering firms in Palm Beach County, we'd love to hook him up. We have what we call the Stowe Family Network, which is sort of an alumni network that we have. It's a software program, a lot like Facebook, where they join up, and we've got someone from Lockheed, who's one of our past scholars, who is trying to get him a job with Lockheed. But I would love to have him back to Palm Beach County. And then just to tell you how small this world is. Years ago, we helped a young man named Alex Gersten with a scholarship, and it wasn't one of y'all scholarship, but Alex is currently the director of airports and ground infrastructure with the National Business Aviation Association. So Alex was a rock star when we helped him. He's still a rock star, but he's offered to mentor your scholars because of his strong connection in the aviation industry. So we're excited to be able to hook him up with some of the kids. I think they'll get a great deal of benefit from that. And the final thing I just want to let you know, you all established the Kennedy Day endowment some years ago, and the balance on that is currently $149,000, 149,123.30%. So I'm excited to tell you about that because we've been able to grow that through the growth of the endowment, but at the same time, fund the scholarship every year. So that's really the best case scenario. I hope I can come and report that to you every year. I'll be able to do it every year, but it's nice. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you for that report. Any questions? Clara, is there any action we need to take?
A motion.
We do need a motion to approve or
So
distribute,
moved.
I guess, the fund.
So
We've already approved.
Second.
Cheryl's made the motion. Got a second? And any other questions at all? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, Tim. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Oh, that's a big check.
Whoa, look at that. Oh, that's a very big check.
And
Big
Mr.
check.
Chair, if you and some of the board would not mind taking a picture
Okay.
with Tim.
Want to do that now?
Yeah, please.
All
And
right,
then
board members, yes, that'd be great. Jim? Where would you like us to go?
maybe, yeah.
By the podium? there?
I guess that's really.
Yeah.
Hey, it's your
Sure,
money.
you should stay in the middle.
Hey.
On three. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you guys so very much.
Thanks, Tim. Nice report.
Can we put this in your pocket?
Put that in the ATM machine, that'd be quite the sight.
Yeah, okay, I've never seen this because I refuse to watch Edison. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Yes. that
So
would
heartwarming to hear that,
Very
isn't it? You
nice.
know,
Yeah.
we really struggled with, is this the right thing to do with airport money years and years ago? You guys
Yeah.
remember this? And now when he comes back with all these stories
Nice to
about
hear.
networking, and one has helped the other, good Lord, the GPA of 3.9 in
Yeah.
aerospace
They're all going
engineering.
to great schools.
Yeah, there's no
It's not
sliding
like-
through,
yeah.
is there?
Yeah.
So.
This is the real deal.
That's what it's all
Very
about,
right.
really making a difference.
Yes, and I think we did that. We took a
Yeah.
risk when we first did it, because not everybody wanted to do it. We worried about public perception. Is this the right thing to do with these dollars? Should we put it elsewhere? But not only we've grown the industry, but we've certainly.
It's working very
Yeah,
nicely.
it's working.
Yeah.
So, thank you. Kudos. Thank you.
Yes, congratulations, that's great. Our next order of business, we have a landscaping contract. So I'm gonna turn over to Travis. Travis. report on that?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's all about landscaping, but we'll, try to be quick. Board members, back in 2017, the authority entered into a contract with landscaping and power spray for a period of 3 years to handle all the airport's needs inside and outside the fence. We renewed his contract once before prior with the much added scope of services with the oncoming Airport Road project and the soon to be constructed observation area. That would kind of push things beyond his initial contract scope of services. So we issued an RFP that closed at the end of last month, changed up a little bit to encapsulate obviously the new projects. And we also broke it apart to try to see if we get a little more activity than we did last time. We did the land side, which is basically everything outside the fence, our building, the road, customs, and everything. Air side, which is inside the fence, it's 2 different options to bid. We bid on both, 1 or none. We ended up getting 5 bids. We're currently reviewing them. So while we review them, we reached out to the attorney, who's agreed to an approximate 90-day contract extension for his current rates. And then he also turned in a bid, so he's one of the ones we're reviewing. And then we'll go from there. We have the recommendation for the next board meeting for whomever the lowest responsive bidder for the contract. So Airport Management recommends approval of resolution 092021 and contract extension to the attorney. Thanks. Answer any questions.
Travis, when you talk about the extra with Airport Road and Observation Tower, what is there like a little percentage that you would attach to that, like 20% more or?
Roughly, if you get you an order of magnitude, just Airport Road itself, I believe there's over 100 trees getting installed, shrubbery each entranceway, extra cleanups, weeding, that type of thing. Obviously, observation areas not that big, but it'd still be something additional. So when you add everything kind of together, once it's done, if we renew the contract currently, that would push him into completion of this, have to maintain it. So it would probably, I'd say at least probably another 20 to 25% additional, just in the general maintenance, and it's the time consuming maintenance as well, the tree trimming and.
But it's
and
very,
also very visible too.
that's what I was gonna say.
Right,
It's-
right.
The optics are very important, that
Yeah.
it keeps trimmed and neat, especially the visibility from.
One of the requests of the RFP was high
Yeah.
presence at all times, anything debris removal, palm fronds down, weeding, that kind of thing. So-
Yep. Great.
And I have a
Mr.
question.
Chairman?
Yep, yes. Is that Gene?
Yes, thank you. Just a clarification, Travis. Are we going to then separate the land side from the air side? Because the attorney is currently doing the land side and along Airport Road, between Airport Road and the fence. Is that correct?
Correct. Right now, the attorney does everything, inside the fence as well, air side. And just to try to get varied source of bidders, we separated that up to where you could bid on just air side or just land side or both. And we can award one separately than the other, or award both to one firm if we set aside. And it seemed to be a little bit more competitive this time, this way, and there's a little bit more specialized needs on the air side with the communications with air traffic control tower, safety, runway safety, that type of thing, movement area environment. So
So you're saying we could end up with two different contractors?
there's a possibility of that, yes.
Okay. Any other questions, Gene?
Yeah, just clarification. So when we allow the contract or award the contract in for the land side, who will do the water retention areas and that? Whose responsibility will that be?
The swales along Airport Road will be the responsibility of the awarded contractor for the land side portion.
Okay, so then he will no longer, the attorney will no longer need to do that. His portion will be reduced, is that right?
Going forward, if he is one of the bidders, so if he's awarded the contract, he will still be responsible for that. And if it's a new contractor, he will not have at least a land side contract with us. We're still reviewing it.
Okay, I understand. My question was, he's doing that, he's doing those areas now. If he doesn't get the contract for the roadway, and they assume that, then his duties will be diminished by that area. Is that correct?
Well, his contract would terminate, and a new contract would be awarded. He is one of the bidders, and we are currently, he is, and we are currently reviewing and it's not a bid, I have to clarify, this is a request for proposals where price is a factor, but it's not the factor on which the contract will be awarded, the primary factor. It is one of the factors. The contract will be awarded on a point system based on price, experience, qualifications, capabilities, etc. So it's a proposal that we received. So there are several proposals, 5 in total. Latermi is one of the proposals received. And as Travis mentioned, we could end up with all of it being awarded to one company, i.e. Latermi or one of the other competitors, or we could award to 2 different vendors. So it just depends. We just need to go through those proposals that we received a week ago and come up with some ideas. The third option that we are also exploring while we are in this analysis is potentially assuming the responsibility for the airside portion if the capability exists in-house, and only awarding the land side. So those are all options currently under review, which is why we are requesting the extension through early January.
I got you. All right, thank you.
Mitch, do you have any question?
No, I'm good.
All right. If No other questions? Looking for a motion on resolution number 9/20-21.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, a motion, I have a second. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Travis. Appreciate that. Okay, next up is the Corporate Identity and Community Engagement Program. And Vanessa Chen will give us the presentation. Welcome. Thank you, Vanessa.
Good evening, Mr. Chair. Vanessa Chen, Community Engagement Specialist. I will be giving a brief update over what we have accomplished in the past quarter. Majority of these items you have already seen and were very successful. However, we wanted to highlight again for each of you. First is our website analytics. As you can see from the picture, the streamline is still steady. The returning users and new users numbers has gone up compared to last quarter. We did have 3 different days spikes. The first on July 14th, the second on July 20th, and the third is July 23rd. The next slide is the social media analytics. As you can see from the performance summary on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, engagements and impressions were down during this period compared to last. However, this is due to the leveling off from new users from adding Instagram and Twitter to our social media platforms 2 quarters ago. And that's a continuation of the audience growth as well. On this slide, it shows the highest total engagement posts for Facebook during this quarter. We wanted to recognize our tenant, Mr. Amico, promotion at BRAA, and then Lynn University shared with us that Major Brian Collins, who attended their College of Aeronautics, was doing his final flight. Our way to give back to the community was volunteering for Spirit of Giving, which Airport Authority board members, tenants, and airport management were pictured in. The next slide is about the George Snow Scholars. In June, airport management had the opportunity to attend the meet and greet to meet the George Snow Scholars. You all also had the chance to meet 2 of the scholars during June board meeting. Next up is the volunteering and back to school supply drive we hosted this Spirit of Giving effort. As you remember, we held the back to school supply drive, which we had a good turnout. A special shout out to Reliable Jet Maintenance for the big donation. Next up is our airport management outreach we have. During the last quarter, airport management attended many of the Boca Raton Chamber of Commerce events and hosted the Boca Leadership Group on the Development Day. Tenant outreach. As you all know, on July 20th, we hosted the ice cream social as a tenant appreciation event, which was successful. A special shout out to the Civil Air Patrol cadets for their support by helping us set up and tear down for the event. Lastly, here are some of the events planned for fall, which you all will receive more information about. That concludes my presentation. If there are any questions or comments.
Can you go back 1 slide? I want to see the upcoming events. Well, thank you.
I think Clara has something to do with one of those, correct? In a very intimate kind of way.
Well, when I was growing up, I always wanted to run away and join a rock band, but lack of talent and gumption were the 2 biggest drawbacks. But all kidding aside, I was asked by Chastity at the Chamber to participate in the Golden Bell Battle of the Bands as a fundraiser for the scholarship. So I will be making my musical debut on the 25th, playing keyboards, and I'm not allowed to say the name of the song, but we are 11th Hour is our band name, which kind of speaks a little bit to the dynamics of all of us working, how energized we were to do this. But it's all in good fun and it's all for a very good cause. So we're enjoying the experience.
And I think you're partnering with Jesse Coomer, who's a VP of Finance at ADT, and he's been giving me updates
That's right.
as well. So
That's right. In fact, I think we have a great band. My bandmates are Jesse with ADT, Sophia Eccleston with FPL, Jason Hagen, I never remember how to pronounce it. Higgins, yes, with YMCA, and Jennifer Jolly with Boca Grove. So it's a great band. And our band manager is Stephanie Hicks with the Boca Marriott.
excellent.
Any other questions for Vanessa?
Question on the FAU tailgate on November 6th. So when we were discussing this a couple of months ago, that there was a possibility of tying this in with the family of the Air Force folks from World War II, and did that all kind of work out?
So the family, not necessarily, from FAU, Kevin, that's the one that's over all of football. But we are still gonna do something for veterans, to recognize them, especially since Veterans Day is right there.
Yep.
So we're actually teaming up with, Vets Helping Heroes, which Mel is a part of for the board, to give back to them, to show respect and honor towards them.
I think there was a conflict, correct, Christine? with
They
the-
still haven't come up with a date that would have family members come.
Okay.
We asked and I've asked again, I'm waiting. And
Okay.
the last update I had is they still have.
Yeah, and they were asking us to commit to a date for our event, and unfortunately, they weren't able to, they were able to coordinate, but we're very fortunate that we were able to team up with Vets Helping Heroes, and I think we'll have the same, hopefully a nice turnout there for a similar event to what we did the last time.
It will be the same kind of setup.
Yes.
Yep.
Mhm.
That was great.
It was really nice, and a lot of people ended up staying after for the game, which was a lot of fun. We all sat up in the nosebleed section. It was a lot of fun to be up there.
Great. Any other questions? Vanessa, thank you very much. Great report. We appreciate it.
Vanessa.
Good job. Okay, next item on the agenda is the authority board member requests and reports. This is time for any new agenda items any board member would have, or issues, or comments, or requests that we haven't covered. And Mitch and Jean, you're also welcome to join in there on the phone if you have anything. So I'll look around the room. I'm not seeing any hands. Anybody? Mitch, Jean, anything?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
Okay, you good. All right, great. Hearing none, then public comments. Ms. Landers, are there any additional public comment cards? Any other business to come before the board? Claire?
No, sir.
October 20th.
All right, and our next meeting is October 20th at 6 p.m. right here in the conference room at the Boca Raton Airport Authority Administration Building. So with that, we'll move toward adjournment. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimously approved.